Here are 3 tips for marketing as a real estate photographer. If you're new here, my name is Will. I'm a professional real estate photographer and I have been for the last 10 years. I recently went out on my own and I want to give you 3 tips for more success in 2024. Marketing as a real estate photographer can be tough. There are a lot of people who want to undercut you. There are a lot of people who are happy to take the photos themselves, and it can feel like pushing a boulder up a mountain sometimes. But I have found a lot of things that have worked for me, and these are just my personal tips that have been the most effective. And this is going to kind of be an ongoing series that we will revisit and we will come back to, because every year things change. Every year things seem to shift. Competition dies off, competition comes in, and as long as we can keep having a discussion about it, I think it would be a really productive video series to just kind of keep rolling. And if you guys have any tips, please feel free to share them in the comments. This is about helping everybody, not just myself, not just you. I'm not here to gatekeep anybody. These are genuinely the things that have been the most effective and best for my business and in the past when I have worked for other businesses. My first tip is going to be to hire a business coach. And I know that that can kind of come off as sounding like you need help, or you're in a desperate scenario, or it just might not feel like you're doing it yourself. Because I know as a photographer and as just a professional creative, at least for me, it was very hard for me to admit that I needed some help with my business. And I think as photographers, a lot of us who are on the creative side of it are not very good at the business side. And I think that we can really get in our heads and can get really dug in and set in our ways. And having a business coach really has helped me understand a new perspective from my client side. My business coach has helped me understand what works and what doesn't from a perspective of a real estate agent. And it really has helped me get over this idea of I need to be the perfect creative, or I need to be the perfect photographer, and I need to deliver the most exceptional quality, and that's going to be what makes me stand out. Because I will tell you right now, I don't care how good you are at photography, you're not going to stand out with the greatest photos. If you just post those to your Instagram and just say, here's a home I shot, give me a call, it's not going to work. And I think that we can really get in our heads and see those photos and go, but why isn't it working? Right? Like, we put in so much effort to have these photos be the best that they can be. We put in all this editing, or we have found the editors that align with our values and align with what we want, and we have worked on a style with them, and we go so far, and we have all this camera gear, and we go, why isn't it working? And you have to remember that people like people, and the real estate game is all about relationships. It is not about hiring the best photographer, it's hiring the one that they like. And at least in my market, because every market is different, I want to preface that as well, that every market is different. But at least in my market in Northern Colorado, it is a game of relationships. And people are going to hire somebody that they like because they trust that person, not because they have the best photos and they have the best camera gear and they have the most experience. One of the biggest competitors I have up here is really good at rubbing shoulders and getting out and meeting people, and they are honestly not very good at photography. They're not even a photographer. They are somebody who just owns a business and hires people who are interested in photography, which is what I talk about a lot. And I'm not going to get too far off. We can go into this later on, but it's something that I struggled a lot because I was told by so many real estate agents who worked for me, like, man, where have you been? Your photography is great. Your customer service is wonderful. I love working with you. My clients love working with you. You're so easy to work with. You listen to me. You understand what you're doing. And you seem so passionate about it, but like, I'd never heard of you before. And the reason why is because this guy would go out and meet people, right? And he was very good at being known as the business owner and known for having this, because that's what this game is. And a lot of real estate agents are extroverts, but a lot of them aren't. The other thing to remember is not one size fits all, which is why hiring a coach is so important, because everybody's scenario is unique, everybody's personality is different, and you can do it. And I'm going to plug my coach. His name is Daryl Stringer. He is specific to the real estate photography and architecture game. I highly suggest you check him out. Build a Better Photo Business, or the Real Estate Photographer System. I saw him give a talk on a conference that I paid to go to in Vegas, and I really liked what he said. A lot of real estate photographers and people who want to run these businesses don't care about photography, and they only care about the bottom line. They only care about how much money they can make. And Daryl came off as caring about you as a business owner, no matter what your goals were. If you want to be that, that's great. If you want to be a solo professional like myself, who just builds relationships with people and runs his business with no employees and runs it out of his house with very little overhead, you can do that as well. And he is a fantastic coach who very much cares about you and your business, and not about how much money he can make off coaching, which I think is a huge thing to watch out for, because coaching is such a scam industry right now. But everybody has business coaches. I have met a lot of agents who have business coaches. You would never have guessed that they had a business coach, but they do. So I think that if you are like, I don't need one, I am a great photographer, I can do this on my own, stop. Really think about getting a business coach. Interview them. Don't just go find the one that is, the latest on Instagram. Don't go find the one that is the first result on Google. Find one that reflects your values. Daryl may not be for you, and that's okay. But find a business coach. They don't even have to be in real estate photography. Just somebody who can sit down and you can bounce ideas off of, and they can come back at you and say, no, this isn't a good idea. Here's what I would try. Here's what I would do. Here's what I encourage, because it's been a huge help for me. And I think that's the biggest tip that I have that has been a massive success for me as somebody who, I used to work for a big real estate photography company here, and I would do 6 to 7 homes a day. I have shot over 10,000 homes. I have done it all. I've shot multi-million-dollar listings. I mean, my biggest listing is pushing $20 million. I have shot 30,000 plus square feet homes. I have shot mansion, everything you can think of, I've done. I'm published. I'm in magazines. I was just featured in a magazine. Like, I do all of this for a living, and I am like nothing in terms of social media because a lot works. But having a business coach was the biggest thing that has helped my marketing and my business. So I highly encourage you, look it up, check it out, consider it, because it is a great resource, and take it seriously, because you don't have to implement everything they do. You don't have to implement anything that they do, but listening to him and following a lot of his guidance has grown my business exponentially and has put me in a spot right now where I don't really need a whole lot of new clients right now, because I have grown so much, and so much more than I thought I would as a solo professional, that I'm kind of waiting to see where the market is right now. And I am profitable. I have made enough money. I am just kind of waiting and holding and just seeing where this market goes, because it's weird right now. But that would be my first tip. And I think that it is just such a valuable thing. I can't overstate it, that it is just such a valuable service that please check it out. Don't get too in your head and don't get too egotistical about it, because it really does help. All right, tip number 2 is going to be to join a local small business group. I have a couple small business groups that I'm a part of, but I have one that is kind of an invite-only one that is based off, whoopsie daisy, let's do that again. Tip number 2 would be to join a local small business group. I am a part of a couple small business groups, but I am a part of one that is real estate. It is led by a real estate agent, and it has a lot of local professionals that they basically reference out and they refer to, and then they have a booklet that they give out to anybody who is using them, anybody who references them, anybody who's a partner with them, that has my information in it. So I'm listed as a professional photographer and videographer and like marketing, basically. So going to this is just another way to meet people and to meet a lot of people who could help you and refer you out, and you could refer them. Again, this is a business of relationships, and so if you are not being seen, if you are not being active in this, you're probably not going to go very far. You can't just buy social media ads and post portfolio pictures. You got to go meet people. And I have met tons of small business owners to help me kind of branch out from just real estate, right? I've met plumbers, I have met HVAC companies, I have met people who are they specialize in helping with they're a small business that helps specializing with repairs to get a home ready for sale. I have met people who are mortgage professionals, who are nonprofit leaders that have invited me to say, hey, if you want to, come do some event photography for us, if you would like to do this, we can put your information in there and you can come meet all of our donors, you can come meet all of the people at our events, stuff like that. And those opportunities, we can talk about their effectiveness and stuff like that, but just meeting people and being top of mind and having that word of mouth reference in a circle of people that you would refer out, that you have met and you know and you like and you trust, and they know and like and trust you, goes a long way. And again, it's about getting out there, because you'll get some random people off social media, but I'll tell you, the quality's all over the place. We can talk more about social media in another video, but you can it's basically just kind of throwing stuff at a wall until it sticks. And I have found that going out and meeting people where they are, even going to agencies and stuff like that, but we're going to keep it stuck to my business group, because I want to keep these tips pretty focused. They have really helped me in terms of just giving me references, because they meet people, and somebody says, hey, I have this problem. Oh, I know somebody who can do that and take care of it. And they also help grow social media followings. And it's also the feeling of like, you're in it. You're a real professional and you are meeting these people and you're talking about business and you're helping other people and giving your perspective. One of the big things that I bring to the table is that I'm 36 years old. I am dead center in the biggest generation of buying power in the real estate market right now. There is no other age group than my age group in the real estate market with more buying power. We millennials of this age are the ones who are purchasing homes. And giving that perspective to people in the real estate industry and in the business industry, because how do they talk to me? How do they find me? They want to know all of these things. And it is huge and immensely powerful to be able to give that perspective to people, because they can bounce ideas off you and you can say, no, I wouldn't do that. And they'll say, well, I think that this is the video that I would talk about and blah, blah, blah. I've done this for years. And you go, well, that's fine, but here's how I use social media. And this is how I interact with it. And this is how my friends interact with it. And this is how we talk. And I can tell you right now, we're not going to listen to that. And that's fine if you want to do it. But we grew up on the internet. We know all of this stuff. And this is how it works. And with TikTok, with Instagram, with Facebook, with YouTube, with every other, and LinkedIn, all these different social media channels, it's so hard. And giving that valued perspective, if you are of my age group, or you can give another perspective of how to relate to this age group, because this is where real estate marketing is right now. Agents are targeting the 30 to 40 year olds, 32 to 38, I guess technically, but they're targeting me. And I am also one of the few very fortunate, very lucky people to have a home at a 3% interest rate that I don't owe a ton of money on, that is brand new, and I got in at the right time. And so again, I am positioned in this market to be like, okay, if I was going to buy a home, what am I going to want? What kind of media and marketing do I want? And to think about that and give that perspective. And then to get the feedback from people and to kind of go back and forth with them in a safe space where all of us are just talking about our business and our marketing and are able to be vulnerable is a really valuable thing. And I think that joining a small business group like that, or finding one, or even starting one, and getting people and just talking and meeting once every 2 or 3 months is a very powerful tool to grow your network and grow people who would recommend you. So I think you should look into finding one. And tip number 3 is going to be to ask for word of mouth referrals. If you're just starting out on this, you have no clients, you haven't done any shoots, you are trying to get your first one, this is not going to be the video for you. I mean, I know I should have said that in the beginning, but we'll go over something like that for if you are just beginning your solve. But these marketing tips are going to be for people who have a couple shoots under their belts and they're like, hey, I want to take this, I want to be something with this, right? Like, I want to grow more, I want to add more clients. And mine has been word of mouth referrals. I have had more solid repeat customers and repeat clients who I love working with from word of mouth referrals than any other marketing tactic, any other marketing strategy I've used. I have gotten more from somebody saying, hey, I recommend him, use him, than anything else. And that speaks volumes for who you are as a photographer. Because if you can get a word of mouth referral, they're like the hardest thing to get from people, because it takes a lot, right, to be top of mind. And it takes a lot to stand out so much to somebody that they're like, hey, I would personally recommend him. But if you have that one agent, everybody's got that one agent. At least as far as I have learned, everybody gets one, right? You find an agent who is they match your personality. Everything is easy with them. They want to lift you up and they want to help you out. And that, for me, I have a couple of them, but it started with one. And he is who got me into this. And I will forever be grateful for him. And I go always above and beyond for my agents. But he specifically, I am happy to comp him a couple things here and there, do this, go over the top for him, because he constantly refers me out to people. And I think having word of mouth referrals from your agents and from one in particular can be the best thing for your business. I have a couple of them I have met, but I still only have one. And if any of my agents are watching, I'm sorry. But there is one agent who got me into all of this. And while I will go above and beyond for all of you, that agent is just special to me in my business, because he got me into this. He got me started. He refers me out, and he takes care of me. And he is my real estate agent as well. And I would not use anybody else. And having that kind of relationship with people and acting like you can take care of them. I'm not saying you need to, like I said, for him, I will go above and beyond, right? I'll give him a deal on certain things, cut him a deal, help him out here and there, because he has brought me so much business that it's just like, it is a great way to get started. And I think that in this industry, we like to give a lot of free shoots, and I don't give free shoots. I still don't. I think that if you are busy enough, you don't need to give a free shoot to anybody. You don't even need to give discounts. But I look at it as a referral program, because I've gotten so much business from this guy that I'm like, listen, if you want a free floor plan, no problem. You want, a discount on your video, no problem. Hey, you've gone the extra mile for your client. I can, instead of 40 photos, I'll give you 50 for that price. Like, I'm not locking him in to a lot of that stuff. And I think that by having that person and having that agent, it will speak volumes for you, because they're on your side. And it has done great for me. His whole family has been great to me, and word gets around that you are great. And he understands that I'm not going to do this for everybody else, because he doesn't do this for everybody as well. And that has been a huge boon for me. So I think getting a word of mouth referral, even just asking for it, going and asking people who you have that connection with, that, hey, if you know of anybody, here's a couple cards, could you hand them out at your office? If you know any new agents that I could be of service to, could you give them out? We can talk more about a lot of this stuff, but also stroking kind of the ego of some agents, because it's an extrovert's game. It is a sales game. And if you can say like, hey, you're a really powerful agent, you might be happy with your photographer, but if you know of anybody new that you could recommend me out to, I would be grateful, or I would love to help them out. I'd love to offer my services, and I appreciate it. And that way it kind of goes with their ego. I think that that's also a great way to do it. But yeah, just having somebody who is a good resource for you is very, very helpful. And I think that you can't do everything at once. So to kind of wrap this all up, you can't really do everything at once. And so focus on one thing and grow that, whether that is finding a business coach and starting there, whether it is getting a small business group together or joining one. Do that, be present, be a part of it, and put effort into it. Or if it is finding that agent for you who is your agent, who has your back, who would refer you, and, saying, hey, listen, even if you don't want to do what I do, where it's like, yeah, I pick and choose some of the stuff that I comp him on each of his things, or like I go a little extra on here, and I'm not I'm not like Twilight's, right? Like I'm like, you know what, I can grow my portfolio. It's a really nice house. I'll just come grab them for you. Instead of doing that, give them a referral program and say, hey, listen, if you would give me word of mouth referrals for everyone that I get from you, I will take 10-15% off your next photo shoot. I think that can go a long way towards building trust in somebody. And you don't need to do this for every agent. Just pick one. You pick one agent, that's your agent, you go with it. And it's been great for me. And I'm only saying this because, like I said, this is what has worked for me and what has been the most effective for my business. And I have more marketing ideas. There's some we can come up with. You can bounce them off me. We can talk about it. But these three have been the biggest influence for me in the last 6 months since I started my business. I have been in photography for almost 2 decades now. I have worked in the real estate game for the last 10 years. And I just went solo on my own, growing this business 6 months ago. And just doing these three things, I have been profitable. I survived the slow season in the winter, and I have gained 2 to 3 new clients a month just doing this. And I think that if you can pick one of them and focus on that until you get to a point where you don't really have to think about it anymore, it's just something that happens and that you are a part of and that you do and is a part of your day-to-day and your workflow, then you can focus on the other ones, because you can't do everything at once, like I said. And focusing your energy on one thing is the best way to grow as a business and grow as a business owner. So I hope all of those have helped. They're giving you some ideas. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, of course, leave them below. Please please subscribe to the channel. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep growing. All the content ideas have been great. And if you have any more, just let me know. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next one.